One of the most significant geopolitical issues of our time is the ongoing conflict between the United States and China. Over the past few years, tensions between these two global superpowers have intensified, with technology at the heart of this growing rift. Hi, this is Professor Mark Grabowski, the architect of this cyber law course. In this lecture, I'll explain why you should keep an eye on this evolving issue with significant global implications. Some experts call the US-China tech war the defining issue of this century. Historically, the US and China have depended on each other for technological advancements. However, disagreements over trade, cybersecurity, and international relations have increasingly driven them apart. A critical flashpoint in this conflict is Taiwan and the semiconductor industry. Taiwan, as the world's largest producer of advanced semiconductors, is vital for both civilian and military technologies. The US has strengthened its ties with Taiwan to secure its chip supply, while China views Taiwan as a breakaway province and has increased its military presence in the region, further heightening tensions. Semiconductors are the backbone of modern technology, embedded in everything from smartphones and cars to toasters and fighter jets. In other words, there's no tech industry without semiconductors. This huge industry is expected to soon cross the trillion-dollar mark and is at the center of the geopolitical struggle between the US and China. The US, which leads the world in semiconductor market share, has issued sweeping restrictions on the sale of advanced chips and chip-making equipment to China to prevent their use in China's military. In response, China has accused the US of using export restrictions to stifle its technological progress. This geopolitical struggle also extends into the realm of electric vehicles, or EVs, and autonomous driving technologies. The US has imposed tariffs on Chinese EVs and self-driving cars to prevent cheaper Chinese models from flooding the market and to protect American automakers while maintaining leadership in these cutting-edge technologies. Another critical area of conflict is undersea cables. Beneath the ocean's surface lies a vast data network comprising nearly 1 million miles of undersea cables, which carry 95% of the world's overseas internet traffic. These cables are crucial for everything from financial transactions to streaming services and military communications. Companies from the United States, France, Japan, and increasingly China dominate the supply, installation, and maintenance of these cables. China's involvement in undersea cable projects, such as those led by Huawei Marine, has raised concerns about potential espionage, prompting the US to tighten its grip on cable projects and enforce stricter regulations. The AI arms race between the US and China is heating up as well. Both nations are competing for intellectual dominance in AI hardware and software, as well as the raw materials necessary to power AI systems. The US currently holds a lead in development of generative AI systems, such as large language models that power chatbots like OpenAI's ChatGPT. Export restrictions on high-performance semiconductors designed by companies like NVIDIA are keeping the most sophisticated AI developments out of China's reach. Meanwhile, China is countering with its own measures, such as restricting the export of chip-making metals and amassing substantial funds to boost its domestic chip production capabilities. Recently, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission banned Chinese telecom companies from operating in the United States, and the Commerce Department advised American companies to steer clear of Huawei, citing concerns over data security. In retaliation, China mandated the removal of all non-Chinese computers and software from its government offices, a decision that could potentially cost U.S. suppliers like Dell, HP, and Microsoft up to $150 billion annually. The conflict extends to social media and data privacy. The U.S. is seriously considering banning TikTok due to national security concerns, arguing that the Chinese company that owns it could use the app to collect data on American users, share it with China's government, and potentially influence public opinion. The debate involves either forcing a sale of TikTok or banning it entirely in the US. And of course, China has long restricted many US social media apps, including Facebook and Twitter. Facing all this uncertainty, it's no surprise that Chinese direct investments in the US have significantly declined, with investments dropping from nearly $50 billion in 2016 to about $5 billion in 2022, marking a substantial reduction from previous years. Meanwhile, American companies like Apple have started moving production from China to other countries such as India. The outcome of this tech war will undoubtedly shape the future of international technology and economic relations. Both nations face substantial economic and strategic risks, with long-term impacts on global tech innovation and supply chains. So stay tuned as this situation evolves.